So, hey guys, welcome back to another episode. It's Tuesday the 19th of March today. As you can see, it's pretty overcast out, but still quite warm out, which is good. So, as promised, we're going to do an update. What's that going over? Helicopter? I think that's a rescue one, is it? I've had some military helicopters going over recently, but I think that's a rescue helicopter. But anyway, as I was saying, yeah, we're going to do a quick update of the garden up here. So first of all, I guess I'll show you the greenhouse. I did start this off as just supporting for my tomatoes. The plan was I just have 5 sections, and each section just allows me to be able to tie up my tomatoes as they grow, because unfortunately this greenhouse, you don't have any anywhere really to tie strings up to, so you can't really provide any support for your tomatoes without sticks, and because these beds are only about 12 inches, the sticks don't really have much support. So I did have a lot of issues of like plants falling in, and it made it just really difficult for me. So I decided to make these 5-section box so I can just have bamboo canes and zip ties, just so I could tie up my plants as they grow. But as I was doing that, I found out that these 3-foot canes actually span 2 of these boxes pretty perfectly. So what I realised I could do was, if I use 4 canes going across 2 boxes, it allowed me to then just balance a seed tray like this. I'll see if I can get in here to show you guys. So the seed tray is just propped across the sticks like that, and it's pretty sturdy, you know. So yeah, what I went out and did then is I got some empty sticks and a 3-foot pole, shall I say, and I went ahead and zip tied them along each section here, and that allowed me to fit in a bunch of seed trays. So yeah, after doing that, I thought it was a great idea. So I went out, got some more canes, and just extended it along the back there, because I needed some support going up for the new one of the kiwi fruits that I put in the back there, which I'll show you guys in a second. But I decided just to put it all the way along and all the way across then, so I'm in the process of just filling up this one now and filling up any gaps that I've missed. So all I did to make this, guys, was I started off by putting a 5-foot cane in the back corner there, and then a 6-foot cane here. Well, actually, sorry, that's more like 7 feet. So it's 5 feet there, 7 feet there, and then I did the same on this side, which you can see there and there. And all I proceeded to do then was to put these 3-foot canes across as bracing on each tier. So I think there's 4 tiers in total. Yeah, there's 4 tiers in total. So we got one going across here, the next one's up again, and then there. So we got 4 tiers, or 5 in total if you count the top one. And then I just cross braced them with 2 canes, as you can see there. For the back ones, I didn't use 3-foot canes, I actually used 6-foot canes to span the whole length of the greenhouse. And then, yeah, these front ones are all 7-foot there. They're just 8-foot poles cut down. And then 2 in the centre there. So with this then, I also, used 8-foot canes to go all the way down the length of the greenhouse. And then all I did was just zip tie them together. I had these heavy duty zip ties to begin with, but I ran out, so I went to the pound shop and just picked up a bunch of zip ties and used them to hold everything together. And it's really sturdy, you know. So what that allows me to do then is, if I fully put sticks across, which I haven't in this layer yet, because I didn't bother using a tape measure, so the spacing is a bit out. But what that will allow me to do is get 40 seed trays this side, 40 seed trays this side, and then I haven't counted in the middle, but what was it, 4, 8, so I can get 16 down the back there. So yeah, that really provides me with a ton of plugs for the year, which I'm going to get along and plant up today, hopefully. As you can see, I got my seed trays there. But enough of this greenhouse anyway. Hopefully it'll come on nicely. Oh, one last thing as well. These 3-foot canes, I can brace across the top and still have plenty of headroom. I think they're about 6'3" off the ground, something like that. Which will then allow me to grow up my kiwi fruits or beans or cucumbers or whatever all the way up to the top, and then trail them down the length of the greenhouse above my head, so there's still plenty of room to walk down like a tunnel. So with that out of the way, I guess I'll give you a quick update of the greenhouse. So I guess we'll start with the peas, guys. Peas are looking really great now. They're ready to go out now. They're a couple inches tall. A little bit patchy though. I think a few seeds rotted in there, which is probably my fault for not drilling drainage holes in the bottom of the trays. So I'll probably get those drilled in for next year, or for next crop actually, because I'm probably going to do another crop. In the back there, guys, you can see our brassicas are doing really well. DT Brown did send us replacements, even though we didn't need them. Like we said last time, they're doing okay now. They're right in the back, the slightly smaller plants, as you can see. So maybe I can do slight succession planting, so we'll have a few ready a week or two ahead, which is always nice, I guess. You can see these are some of the second ones that we got sent compared to some of the first ones there. So yeah, the brassicas are doing really well now. They're ready to go out. Oh, there's my dog. Our shallots, been really quite patchy this year with them. Unfortunately, I left the propagator lids on a little too long when I was when they were in the grow tent. So they did damp off slightly, but I topped them up with compost and I brung them outside. But they seem to have bounced back, but not nearly as great as I have had in the previous years. See, we've got a couple that are doing okay, but on the whole, I think that back tray's alright. But on the whole, they're not doing as good as I would like. So what I've done is I've sewn another packet up in the grow tent. I'll show you guys the ones we put in the tray to prick out and replace these. They're much larger than what these are, and they're what I would expect around this time of year, around that size, these are the spring onions that we sowed. As goes for a lot of the early plants that we sowed, you can see here, unfortunately they were on the bottom shelf, and because I was in work, and well, basically what ended up happening was they were in here, and where I was leaving for work, it was too cold in the morning to open the greenhouse, so I asked if the greenhouse could be opened while I was in work, but unfortunately that didn't happen, so they have got a bit leggy. And then what I've been doing then is opening the greenhouse in the morning and taking the small frame that I've got out there, shelving unit out. But unfortunately my dogs have been having a little nibble, so you can see there they've had quite a few of those, and these, they've given them a haircut. But on the whole, they're pretty leggy, to be honest. So yeah, I'm going to resow, I think, a lot of these. And the same goes for a lot of the plants out there. I'll show you in a second, but you can see that's not any slug damage or anything, that's dog damage. So that's a bit unfortunate, but that teaches me a lesson, I guess. Moving on, we planted up these two kiwi fruits because they were just getting a little big for the pots. So what I ended up doing was just adding some more compost to this bed, because if you look in the corner there, you can see how much it had sunk. So I added a sand and compost mix, just to improve the drainage a little bit in here, because it's just pretty much fully peat compost. I should be getting some more compost on Friday, I hope, this week. A couple of tons delivered to make a new bed out where those potatoes are, which I'll show you guys in a second. So yeah, I'll use that compost then to fill in basically these beds or top this bed up. But moving on to our leeks. Leeks are doing really well now. They're coming up. Got a little bit of weeds in the back there. Take that one out. There you go. Grab that one as well while we're here. That'll do. In the sun here, our old plants I didn't do anything last year that we bung in. We've been abusing them quite a lot. As you can see, we're just dumping things on top of them because I don't really care about them. But I guess this proves that you can grow banana shallots through the winter if you've got some sort of protection. You know, these were really small plants when they went out, almost plug sized, and that was in, I can't really remember, like October, November time. I think I just popped them in here, and you know, they've done really well. So I guess you can do an overwintering crop if you've got some sort of protection. So that's good news. These were the seedlings that we planted the other night. We're obviously going to get some more done. We got a little tree in here that we saved from a crack, growing out of a crack. He's coming on nice, so that sounds good. Then yeah, we've got a lot more sticks to this side. And all I did, by the way guys, to get the spacing of this correct was I just got some seed trays. Let's try and get these up here for you. And I just placed them on like this to get the spacing correct. There's obviously a fourth one that needs to go there, but I just placed these on, got the spacing correct, and then zip tied them all down. So that then will provide me with loads of room. And as my tomatoes grow up this side throughout the year, all I'll do is just take these off as and when necessary. But over this side, because I'm growing bell peppers down here, I think I might be able to get away with leaving, say, this shelving unit in, maybe adding a few more sticks across and using it as just a shelf for pots, because I've got, you know, about 3 foot of room there. So maybe I can grow 2 tiers of bell peppers there this year, which is pretty nice, I guess. So we finally got some of our conkers to sprout, it seems. I can't imagine they're anything else since we did plant them all around in a circle. So quite a lot of them are coming up now. So we'll have some horse chestnut trees to go out and plant in the forest next year. We'll go out and plant somewhere special. So that's always a good thing. Moving on, our apple tree is looking really good now. She's fully in bloom. So the only thing is though, this pot is a bit of a nightmare since I drilled drainage holes in the bottom, put some rocks in it, but seems like it's not draining properly, so I'll have to drill some holes in the sides, I guess. It's what I had to do with the willow trees over there behind us. These pots here as well, we found a load of bedding that had got dumped over a hedgerow in plugs, and it seemed to be resprouting on, so I thought, why not? I'll pot it up, see what happens. I've grown a lot of bedding myself this year, so I'll just fill any gaps. So I'm not entirely sure what it is. I think it could be a geranium. So yeah, if anyone knows, I'm not entirely sure yet, to be honest. So the cherry tree that we've planted, guys, it's looking really good now. It's coming out in bud, so that's doing well. Unfortunately, the footage of us planting this didn't survive, but all we did is just use the coy mix of coy and compost. Planted our tree up just up until where the graft is, and then I just put some old sock around it as protection, and then wired it in to a metal stake that we put into the bottom of the pot. That will provide it with just some support. And in case anyone was wondering what kind of tree it was, it's the morello. Pear tree is doing really nice now. Starting to flower, but I think I'm going to pinch a lot of these flowers off this year because it's only its first year in the pot, just so it can root in a bit better. But it's doing really well, so that's a good sign. And then last of all, I guess, over here is our willow trees. They're starting to leaf now. So I need to prune off a lot of the stuff that I don't want. I don't think I'm going to wire it this year. I think I'm just going to leave it grow a bit more, and then we'll wire them next year. Hey Missy, what have you done to my plug plants? Hey, what have you done to them? Have you been eating them? Why can't you be like your daughter? Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong? Hey? You're all out here now, aren't you? Hey, Bonds? Hey, good boy. So, here are the plants, guys, that we planted up first of all. A lot of them are not doing so great because of the heat. They all got leggy. I mean, a lot of these charred are not too bad. But a lot of them did get real leggy, which is not really what you want. So can resow a lot of them. Beetroot not doing too bad under there. Bit leggy, but not so bad. Same. Well, this bottom shelf is been pretty much decimated. It's been given a haircut by my dog, unfortunately. So I think I'm gonna stop bringing these trays out here. I'm gonna put them in the A-bonds. Gonna put them in the other side of this wire fence. But we're going to resow all of these anyway, so it's not so bad. So we're at the other side of the Great Dog Barrier. So let's have a quick look at these shallots and garlic. They're coming on really nice now. You look at the size of those shallots. You know, I think they come on a lot quicker up here because the concrete holds the heat throughout the day pretty well, and these are only, you know, in what, 12 inches or so. I mean, what is the standard width of a scaffold board? Oh, it's not 12, it's not much more than 8, I can't imagine. So yeah, there's just slabs underneath here, so I think that's probably what it is. Slots are doing really, really well now. There's only a few that are not doing so great, but we have replacements for them if necessary. Elephant garlic, we finally got 2 that have come up. The rest are still not here. So yeah, that's not so good. But we'll give it a few more weeks and we'll have a look. What's this actually? Is this? No, I know what that is. That is a radish. But garlic doing really well now. What we've done as well, guys, is we de-weeded this bed about 6 days ago, I think, and then around in each section there we sort of made a checkered pattern all the way across this bed, down to both sides of the elephant garlic and around, and we just planted it full of radishes. So it's a little bit late for radishes since it's starting to warm up now and they don't really like the heat, but we're going to give it a go anyway because that's what we usually do, is we plant radishes in between our onions or something in this bed here. So we give that a go. You can see some of them I think are starting to come up now, but I'm not entirely sure what's what. I can't imagine the weeds have come back in the 7 days, so we'll give that another week and I'm sure we'll start to see the pattern of them coming up. But let's move on then, guys. We've got another pot of garlic here which is doing really well. Did have a bit of a haircut, a few of these did, from my dog Missy. She does love the garlic, but they've all bounced back now since I put them in here. That pot where we had all of our sunflowers in last year and we just threw the seeds back in, you can see they're starting to come up now. So that pot should self-seed itself this year, so that's good. We may add a few bedding plants in there, but we'll just see how it goes. And then our potatoes, guys. Potatoes are really flying on now. These are the early ones that we planted back in early March, February I think. Can't quite remember the date, but yeah, they're doing really well now, as you can see, and they're just starting to flower, so that's good.
So guys, our blackcurrant cuttings that we took a couple of weeks ago, they're doing really well now. I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago we took these. They're all in leaf, doing their own thing. Still keeping it moist in here, but I think that's over now. This one's even budding down there. This one's in leaf. That one is. No sign of this one, but there was no buds on it when we planted it, so it may take a while to back bud, if at all. This one's got a little bud coming on it. What have we got in this one? Anything? I don't believe so, but we'll give it some time. So yeah, they're all looking really well now. Alright guys, so to finish up this episode, I thought I'd just show you this little gem that I found in a free bookstore a couple of weeks ago. It's the Victorian Kitchen Garden companion, which I think is the companion book to go with the TV series that you all probably remember, which is the Victorian Kitchen Garden, and it's written by Harry Dodson himself and Jennifer Davis. It's a real gem of a book, really informative. I haven't had a chance to read it all yet, but I've got skimmed through it, shall I say. It's a nice introduction here, and he basically talks about how it's such a shame that they're losing all the traditional Victorian walled gardens, and most of them are in disrepair, and they're all covered with brambles, etc., or they're being torn down and housing estates built on top of them. And then it goes on to say how he pulled a team together, and they basically had a load of trouble trying to find the correct plant varieties. Yeah, and he goes on to say how he can never find tree suppliers, I think it was, that do train trees properly, etc. It's got some nice images here as well. I'll show you that last one. Victorian garden there, so you guys probably remember when it was at its peak with Harry there himself. Some really nice stuff here. That's the way to grow melons. Provide them with their own little hanging net so they don't break. Just his attention to detail was just amazing. And then yeah, it goes on to say about how Harry basically was just a great guy, I guess. How he went through about maybe you guys read it if you want. But yeah, it's a really great book, and then it goes on throughout the year then, giving you what you need to do. Harry's tips himself, so Harry gives you little tips here. It's really great stuff. But that continues on, so he goes out throughout the whole year. Whoops. So, little picture. But then, right at the end of the book, it gives you a suppliers list where Harry managed to find a lot of the old plants and trees, etc. To be honest, I'm not sure how good these would be now. I believe the book was printed in the... Let's have a look. Probably looking at the wrong side of the book. Should be at the front, I guess. So when was it printed? There you go. First published in 1988. I'm not sure when this particular copy was printed. Probably the same year. Yeah, there you go. Copyright 1988. So I guess so. But yeah, real nice, beautiful book. I do remember Sean from the Horticultural Channel did an update. He drove down there about I think it was last year, and he showed that the garden itself was in disarray. And I think when I asked him about it, he did say that they were planning to build some sort of housing estate on it, which I find is really horrible, because if you read here, I believe it does say here how that's how he found it in its original state. So I find it's a great shame, but I do wonder what the garden is looking like at the minute and what its fate has beholded it. So Sean from Horticulture Channel, if you have any idea or if you know anything, that'd be awesome. And I guess I'll take this opportunity to give Sean's channel a big shout out. I'm sure you guys already know about it, but in case you don't, it's Sean from the Horticultural Channel over on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description to his channel, and if I can find the video where he went down there, I think he went down there with Rick Van Man. If I can find that video, I'll also post that down in the description, guys. So big shout out to Sean's channel. He does some great videos, some really great work. So yeah, head over onto his channel, guys, and hit the subscribe button. But I guess that's it from me today, guys. I'm going to get on with planting some more seeds later, and yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. So I'll see you soon.